As Americans in 2023, there's plenty that we disagree on. But last week, USA Today released a new study on something we can all agree to hate: potholes. The study ranked all 50 states based on how many potholes cover their roads. It also included that the average car repair after a tussle with a pothole costs over $400. That's a lot of money for Americans to pay unexpectedly after a road incident. And unfortunately, our pothole problem is about to get much worse. For the past 67 years, the Highway Trust Fund has largely funded road maintenance across our nation. The fund repairs wear and tear on vehicles that travel our highways. That's critical for our roads, for our infrastructure, and for our transportation. But the Highway Trust Fund is running on empty. It's projected to run out of money in the next few years. The insolvency of the fund would necessitate a total restructuring of our highway repair system, and it would throw our national infrastructure under the bus. So how do we prevent this from happening? The main source of revenue for the fund is the federal gas tax, which is a user fee. The money that drivers pay in taxes when they fill up with gas automatically goes towards road construction. But as a smaller percentage of vehicles fill up with gas, a smaller amount of money goes into the Highway Trust Fund. The use of electric vehicles, or EVs, that has shot up over the last several years. And of course, EVs don't use gas. Since they don't fill up with gas, they don't pay the gas tax. And they don't pay into the Highway Trust Fund. As more EVs have been adopted, the fund has become more unstable. It's not receiving the same revenue as it used to. According to Deloitte, U.S. adoption of EVs will increase to 30% of new car sales by 2030. So that's 30% of new car drivers not paying into the Highway Trust Fund. But if anyone should be paying into federal road repair, it should be EV users. EVs can be up to 3 times heavier than gas-powered cars due to their large batteries. This significant weight puts extra stress onto our roads. It pulverizes the roadbed, causing more maintenance, more upgrades, and more cost. The Highway Trust Fund exists to fix exactly the type of damage that these heavy EVs can cause. So it is only fair that all highway users, both gas-powered and electric vehicles, pay into that fund.
Good morning, friends. I have good news to share with you today. The House of Representatives has finally passed a bill that would prevent a government shutdown. A large number of Democrats moved across party lines to vote for this legislation, but the plan looks much different than what many Republicans were expecting. So in this video, I'll be going over what has been included and what has been removed from the funding bill. My dear friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video. Also, to say thank you for being part of this community. Every Friday, friends, I'll be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter these weekly giveaways, all you need to do is click and like several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning these giveaways. The House has voted overwhelmingly to prevent a government shutdown after new House Speaker Mike Johnson was forced to appease Democrats when hard-right conservatives went against his plan. Speaker Johnson's proposal to temporarily fund the government into the new year passed on a bipartisan 336 to 95 tally, but 93 Republicans voted against it. It was the first time the new speaker had to force vital legislation through the House, and he showed a willingness to leave his right-flank Republicans behind. That is the same political move that cost the last House Speaker, Kevin McCarthy, his job just weeks ago. Johnson's approach, which the Senate is expected to approve by week's end, effectively pushes a final showdown over government funding to the new year. Without enough support from his Republican majority, Speaker Johnson had little choice but to rely on Democrats to ensure passage to keep the federal government running. Johnson's proposal put forward a unique two-part process that temporarily funds some federal agencies to January 19th and others to February 2nd. It is a continuing resolution that comes without any deep cuts that conservatives have demanded all year. Speaker Johnson says the innovative approach would position House Republicans to go into the fight for deeper spending cuts into the new year. But many Republicans are skeptical there will be any better outcome in January. The opposition from hardline conservatives left Speaker Johnson with few other options than to skip what's typically a party-only procedural vote and rely on another process that requires a two-thirds tally with Democrats for passage. In a recent statement with the other top Democratic leaders, Hakeem Jeffries pointed out that a federal shutdown would hurt the economy, our national security, and everyday Americans. He also noted in a letter to his colleagues that the GOP package met Democratic demands to keep funding at current levels without steep reductions or divisive Republican policy priorities. Winning bipartisan approval of a continuing resolution is the same move that led McCarthy's hard right flank to oust him in October. That was just days after the September 30th vote to avert a federal shutdown. The Senate, where Democrats have a slim majority, has signaled its willingness to accept Johnson's package ahead of Friday's deadline to fund the government. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell called the House package a solution and said he expected it to pass Congress with bipartisan support. If approved, passage of the continuing resolution would be a less than triumphant capstone to the House's GOP first year in the majority. The Republicans have worked tirelessly to cut federal government spending, only to find their own GOP colleagues unwilling to go along with the most conservative priorities. Two of the Republican bills collapsed last week as moderates revolted, but instead the Republicans are left funding the government essentially on autopilot at the levels that were set in bipartisan fashion at the end of 2022, when Democrats had control of Congress, but the two parties came together to agree on budget terms. All that could change in the new year, when 1% cuts across the board to all departments would be triggered if Congress failed to agree to new budget terms and pass the traditional appropriation bills to fund the government. The 1% automatic cuts, which would take hold in April, are despised by all sides. Republicans say they are not enough. Democrats say they are too steep. And many lawmakers prefer to boost defense funds. But they are all part of the deal McCarthy and Biden struck earlier this year. The legislation also extends Farm Bill programs through September, the end of the current fiscal year. That addition was an important win for some farm state lawmakers. Democratic Representative Mark Pocan warned that without the extension, milk prices would have soared and hurt producers back in his home state. Well, my awesome and most amazing friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for today. To say thank you, this coming Friday, I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter these weekly giveaway friends, please click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. Thank you and have a wonderful and very blessed week.